I attended Vidcon this year. It's the largest convention I've ever been to and also the most teenagers I've ever seen in one place. Fortunately, the Anaheim Convention Center is pretty big, so this was the only long line I ever had to stand in. It was quite possible to get good seats at most of the panels, and opportunities to ask questions and speak with other creators were abundant. My purpose for going was to clarify my own reasons and goals for making videos on the internet, and to get some advice from those who are doing it well. But more than either of these, it was really to meet other people who were doing this stuff, and make friends. The big takeaway for me was that there really is no shortcut. As in every other art form, you just have to keep making stuff and building a community of people who value the work you do. Making a community more than making art is what I want to talk about, because while myself and everyone attending VidCon were there to make community, not everyone who showed up at the Anaheim Convention Center shared that goal. I'm talking about these guys. A group of Christian evangelists that showed up on both Friday and Saturday of VidCon and stood for hours directly out front, holding their signs and distributing Get Out of Hell Free cards. These guys were not there for community, because if they had been, they would have bought badges and come inside for the conversation. They would have joined us at the concerts and the prom where we were getting to know each other. They would have asked us questions instead of just shouting their slogans at us. As a minister, I can't help resenting Christians who behave this way a little, because it creates an additional obstacle for me in building relationships with non-Christians. The overwhelming reaction of VidCon attendees was aversion and disgust. No one came away from meeting these people with a positive impression of Christians. Their method of communication failed so abysmally that few VidCon attendees understood their purpose. Most people referred to them as protesters, despite the fact that they weren't actually protesting anything about VidCon. I doubt the sign holders even knew very much about VidCon. They're from a house church that does this 6 days a week. And they were just being opportunists and standing outside the convention center to attract the attention of a large crowd. They call what they're doing evangelism and say their goal is to win souls for Christ. For years, since before Rob Bell monologued about Bullhorn Guy, I've heard many Christians basically say, their goal is commendable, but their methods are terrible. But I don't think that's true. I don't think their goal is commendable at all. I don't think the means and the ends can be conveniently separated like that. Street corner evangelists are not conveying a loving message in a hateful way. They're communicating a hateful message in a hateful way. To explain why I'm saying this, let me go back and talk about community for a moment. The creation of community entails multiple distinct individuals entering into a relationship which supports and ennobles each of them. To commune means to share very closely. For community to work, the participants need to share an ethic like love your neighbor as yourself or don't forget to be awesome. The key here is that in order for me to love another person or to be awesome toward them, I have to love them as an other. That is, I have to respect what is different about them and even learn to appreciate it. I have to try to see the world from their perspective and empathize with their joys and sorrows. This is why seeking to religiously convert someone is unloving. Conversion in the sense that most Christians mean it, as an intellectual and emotional change profound enough to shift our sense of identity, can't be a goal of Christian engagement with non-Christians, because if I'm trying to convert you, I'm trying to eradicate you as you are, as an other, and transform you into me. If I behave this way, I'm acting narcissistic, only capable of loving you if you're just like me. In truth, I don't think such evangelistic efforts are actually intended to succeed at converting people. They're more for the purpose of creating in-group cohesion by establishing a hostile dynamic between the members of the community and outsiders. In other words, the real goal isn't to show love toward the religiously other, but to make it impossible to love the religiously other by insisting that the only grounds for relationship is for one side to entirely forsake their otherness. On the Friday of VidCon, the Paper Towns movie, based on John Green's book of the same name, was released. It's about a teenage boy who thinks he's in love with the girl next door, but really he's enamored with the idea he has in his head of the girl next door. The point of the story is that in order to really love someone, we have to engage in their full humanity. In John's phrasing, we have to imagine them complexly. As we try to build communities on and off YouTube, are we allowing the people we meet to be genuinely other? Are we engaging their full humanity? Are we striving to imagine them complexly? None of this means that we can't debate what is right or wrong, true or false, but it does mean we have to set aside any desire to transform the people we meet into versions of ourselves. Hey everybody, I'm back. I know it's been a little while. It took me a little bit of time to get another project that I had going almost to a completed stage, and I can't wait to show that to you. But I plan to have videos going up on this channel regularly now. I had an excellent time at Vidcon. I got to meet lots of creators and talk to them, people that I really admire, as well as people I've never heard of that now I really admire, and meet some people who I can collaborate with in the future. I hope to have some guests on this channel here pretty soon, and some pretty cool things coming up. So please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and let's help create a space on YouTube where we can talk about religion, where we can talk about faith, where we can talk about God and death and suffering and pain and any of those sorts of important life questions in a way that's hospitable to people who are of all different backgrounds. So I look forward to the future with you guys. Ciao.